watched my mother-in-law pour white powder into my drink, then secretly switched our glasses. Her scream when her husband drank it exposed years of poisoning disappointing family members, including her own daughter-in-law who miscarried because of it. 5 days ago, my hands were still shaking too badly to hold this camera. What I captured wasn't just family drama, it was calculated, methodical poisoning happening in my own backyard during my son's birthday party. I'm Brandon. The video on my phone shows my mother-in-law Patricia, the woman who sat across from me at Christmas dinners, who held my newborn son, deliberately pouring powder into my wine glass. Not arguing, not gossiping, poisoning me, in my own home, with my 4-year-old son playing just feet away. The look in her eyes haunts me, focused, almost pleased. When I secretly switched our glasses and her husband drank it instead, her mask shattered. Her panicked reaction revealed the unthinkable. I wasn't her first victim. For months, I'd been mysteriously ill after family gatherings. Doctors were baffled. My wife worried. But Patricia knew exactly why I spent those nights doubled over in pain. She planned it, executed it, watched me suffer, and she would have continued if I hadn't glanced through that kitchen window at exactly the right moment. This isn't a story about a difficult mother-in-law. It's about recognizing when family tension crosses into something sinister and finding the courage to expose it before someone gets killed. Sarah and I met in college. She was brilliant, compassionate, from what seemed like the perfect family. Her father, Robert, embraced me immediately. Patricia sized me up like defective merchandise. Sarah could have married a doctor, she announced at our engagement dinner, champagne glass raised in a mock toast. When I took paternity leave after Mason was born, she told Sarah, "Real men don't change diapers." At Thanksgiving, she snatched the carving knife from my hands. "Let Robert do it. He knows how it's done in this family." I weathered it all with a tight smile. For Sarah, for family peace. Water off a duck's back became my mantra whenever Sarah apologized for her mother's behavior. Then 7 months ago, everything changed. After dinner at Patricia's, I woke at 3 a.m. with violent stomach cramps. Sarah held my head as I vomited repeatedly. "Maybe a stomach bug," I suggested. But when it happened again the next month, and the month after that, always after meals at Patricia's, we grew concerned. Doctors ran tests, all inconclusive. Irritable bowel syndrome, one suggested. Stress-induced gastritis, offered another. Nobody connected the dots because nobody suspected the truth. Only I noticed Patricia's eyes following me when I excused myself to rush to the bathroom. Once, returning pale and sweating, I caught her satisfied smile before she masked it with concern. "Poor Brandon," she'd murmur. "Such a sensitive stomach." After being hospitalized with dehydration, Sarah suggested we pause family dinners. Patricia erupted, "Are you choosing him over your own family?" The ensuing argument was their first serious fight in years. We compromised by hosting at our house instead. It seemed like the perfect solution. We were wrong. Mason's 4th birthday should have been perfect. Bounce house, magician, dinosaur cake Sarah spent hours creating. Patricia and Robert arrived early to help, though we had everything under control. Within minutes, Patricia had reorganized the gift table and commandeered drink preparations. "You two focus on the children. I'll handle the adult beverages." Mid-party, I ducked into the kitchen for ice. Through the window overlooking our backyard, I spotted Patricia standing alone by the drink table. Her body language stopped me cold, furtive, hunched, constantly checking if anyone was watching. She reached into her purse and extracted a small white packet. After one final glance around, she tipped white powder into a specific wine glass, one with a blue mark at the bottom. My designated glass, the same one I always used at their house. Time slowed. Party sounds faded to white noise. I could hear only my heartbeat thundering in my ears as realization crashed through me like ice water. This wasn't coincidence or food sensitivity. This was deliberate. This was happening right now, in my home, feet away from my son and wife. My hands trembled violently as I pulled out my phone and hit record. Through the lens, I captured Patricia stirring the drink, returning the empty packet to her purse, arranging glasses on a tray. Her face showed no hesitation, just the practiced efficiency of someone who had done this many times before. Rage, betrayal, and something worse, fear, churned inside me. How long had this been happening? What exactly had she been giving me? Had she done permanent damage? Mason's laughter floated through the open window. His special day. I couldn't create a scene that would traumatize him and the other children. I needed evidence. I needed proof. I needed a plan. Options raced through my mind. Avoid my drink? Confront her privately? Neither would expose the truth convincingly. I needed indisputable evidence that would force acknowledgement. My solution was risky, not entirely fair to Robert, but necessary. I waited until Patricia carried the drink tray outside and set it down. I memorized exactly which glass was mine, blue-marked, filled with Cabernet. When Patricia disappeared into the bathroom, I moved casually to the table and switched my glass with Robert's. Patricia returned, her eyes repeatedly darting to what she thought was my glass now in front of Robert's seat. As the magician finished his final trick, everyone gathered for a toast. To our wonderful grandson on his special day, Robert announced, reaching for his glass, my doctored glass. Patricia's reaction was instant and visceral. Her eyes widened in pure panic. She lunged forward, nearly toppling a chair. "Wait," she cried, grabbing Robert's arm with such force that conversation halted. "That glass it might be dirty." Robert looked bewildered. "What are you talking about, Patty? It looks perfectly fine." He gently pulled away. "Robert, please," she hissed, desperation cracking her voice. "Just take a different one." Too late. Robert had already sipped. His reaction was immediate, violent coughing, face flushing crimson. "What the hell?" he gasped, staring at the glass in shock. "This tastes like chemicals." The festive atmosphere shattered. Children fell silent. Adults froze mid-conversation. All eyes locked on Robert's distress and Patricia's ashen face. "Dad? What's wrong?" Sarah rushed to her father, genuine concern tightening her voice. "Water," Robert croaked. "And the bathroom." "Now." Patricia's hands shook uncontrollably as she helped him inside. The look she shot me contained something I'd never seen from her before, raw fear. She knew I'd switched the glasses. She knew her plan had backfired spectacularly. I caught Sarah's eye and nodded toward the house. "We should check on them," I said quietly. Something in my expression must have communicated urgency because she immediately asked our neighbor to watch Mason and followed me inside. The bathroom door was closed, but heated voices carried clearly into the hallway. Sarah and I froze, listening. "What did you put in that drink?" Robert's voice was hoarse, but vibrating with anger. "Don't lie to me, Patricia. It was meant for Brandon, wasn't it?" A pause, then Patricia's voice, defensive and small, just a laxative, "Robert. Nothing deadly. I only wanted him to embarrass himself running to the bathroom every 5 minutes during the party." "A laxative?" Robert's voice exploded. "Are you insane? You promised after Christine that this behavior was over. You swore to me, Patricia." Sarah's hand flew to her mouth, her eyes widening in shock. Christine, her brother Michael's ex-wife, who had left him 2 years ago after a troubled, brief marriage. Christine was different, Patricia protested, voice breaking. She was manipulating Michael, turning him against his family. "No," Robert's voice thundered. "This is exactly the same thing. This is your pathological need to control everyone. Christine didn't leave Michael because they grew apart like you told everyone. She left because she was being poisoned by you. She was hospitalized 3 times, Patricia. She could have died." I felt Sarah sway beside me, her face draining of color. Christine had been a lovely woman, quiet, artistic, passionate about environmental causes. Throughout their 2-year marriage, she'd battled mysterious health issues, severe gastrointestinal problems, unexplained fevers, dehydration. Exactly like my symptoms. Christine was weak, Patricia spat. Just like Brandon. Neither of them deserved our children. Do you even hear yourself? Robert's voice cracked with anguish. This isn't normal, Patricia. This is criminal. And that miscarriage, did you ever stop to think that your harmless powders might have cost them their baby? Sarah gasped audibly, her hand clutching my arm with bruising force. This was news to both of us. Christine had miscarried at 4 months after a particularly severe bout of what everyone had called food poisoning. I didn't mean for that to happen, Patricia whispered, her first sign of genuine remorse. The bathroom door suddenly swung open. Robert stood there, still flushed but composed, a man carrying an unbearable burden. He froze when he saw us. Behind him, Patricia appeared, her perfect makeup streaked with tears. For one suspended moment, the 4 of us stared at each other, the family illusion shattered beyond repair. The contrast was surreal, children laughing outside, music playing, life continuing normally while our world imploded in this narrow hallway. I broke the silence by pulling out my phone. I saw you, Patricia, I said, my voice steadier than I'd expected. I recorded everything. I turned the screen toward them, showing the video of Patricia pouring powder into my glass. Patricia physically crumpled, sliding down against the wall until she sat on the floor. Robert watched the video, then closed his eyes, the weight of knowledge visibly crushing him. How many times? Sarah's voice was unrecognizable, raw, wounded. How many times have you poisoned my husband, Mom? Patricia couldn't meet her daughter's eyes. 6 or 7 times, she admitted softly. At dinners. Nothing permanently harmful. Just enough to make him look weak, to show you he wasn't right for you. And Christine? Sarah pressed, steel entering her voice. Patricia's silence spoke volumes. Answer me. Sarah's shout echoed down the hallway. Similar things, Patricia finally whispered. Laxatives. Ipecac to induce vomiting. Once I crushed my anxiety medication in her food to make her seem unstable. Sarah made a sound like she'd been struck. My brother's wife was hospitalized because of you? She lost their baby because of you. Her voice broke. Who are you? I don't even know who you are anymore. I was protecting the family, Patricia insisted weakly. You were protecting nothing but your own twisted need to control everything and everyone around you, Robert said, defeat heavy in his voice. This ends today, Patricia. Sarah was shaking so violently I had to study her. All these months, she whispered, when Brandon was in agony, when doctors couldn't find anything wrong, it was you, my own mother. I still needed answers. What exactly was in the drink today? I asked Patricia directly. Just extra strength laxative, she mumbled. Over the counter. Double dose. And the other times? When I ended up in the emergency room. She wouldn't answer, but Robert did. She has a collection, prescription laxatives, Ipecac syrup, even some of my heart medication that can cause dizziness and nausea in healthy people. His voice was laden with guilt. I should have connected the dots sooner. I should have done something after Christine. Looking at Sarah, I knew we were thinking the same thing. As much as part of me wanted legal justice, pursuing it would destroy what remained of our family, traumatize Mason, and subject us all to public scrutiny and shame. Here's what happens now, I said, finding authority in my voice I didn't know I possessed. We'll finish Mason's party. We'll talk tomorrow. But these are our non-negotiable terms. Patricia, you start therapy immediately, professional help focusing on control issues. No unsupervised contact with Mason, period. You will never prepare food or drinks for anyone in our family again. And if there's even a hint that you've violated these boundaries, we go directly to the police with this video and your confession. Throughout it all, Patricia nodded, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she kept repeating, though the words seemed hollow against the magnitude of what she'd done. Mom, Sarah said, her voice breaking, I don't know if I can ever forgive you for this. But I do know that I love Dad, and I love my son, and somehow we need to find a way forward that protects everyone. That starts with you getting serious help. Robert put his arm around Patricia's shoulders, not as comfort, but as containment. We'll leave now. I'll make excuses to the guests. And tomorrow, we'll start making this right. The look he gave us was full of shame and apology. As they walked away, Sarah collapsed into my arms, sobbing. We stood holding each other in the hallway, our son's birthday party continuing in blissful ignorance of the family earthquake that had just occurred. 3 months have passed. Patricia was diagnosed with a personality disorder characterized by control issues and distorted thinking. Her therapist explained that people with this condition often genuinely believe their harmful actions are justified, that they're helping or protecting family. It doesn't excuse what she did, but it helps us understand this wasn't ordinary malice. The hardest part has been watching Sarah grieve for the mother she thought she had. It's like she died, she told me one night. The mom I thought I knew never existed. Sarah started therapy too, working through guilt and betrayal. Did I miss signs? Should I have protected you better? Robert became our unexpected ally. Once the initial shock wore off, he became determined to make amends, not just to us, but to Christine as well. He reached out, confessed what we now knew, apologized for not protecting her. Their conversations seem healing for both. She's remarried now, expecting a baby in the spring. Our relationship with Patricia is fundamentally changed. We maintain limited contact, always supervised by Robert. Patricia has committed to treatment, attending therapy twice weekly and taking medication to manage her impulses. In our carefully controlled interactions, she seems smaller somehow, the formidable matriarch replaced by a fragile woman facing the damage she's caused. Mason still loves his grandmother, though we've never left them alone. Children adapt remarkably. He accepts without question that Grandma is getting special medicine to help her feel better, and that we always check our food and drinks just to be safe. The most profound change has been in my marriage. When Sarah chose to stand with me that day, to believe me immediately, to prioritize truth over family mythology, something fundamental shifted between us. We're no longer just partners. We're survivors together, united by the understanding that we would do anything to protect each other. I've learned lessons I never wanted to learn. That sometimes the most dangerous threats wear the mask of love. That family loyalty can be weaponized to enable abuse. That setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. But I've also learned about resilience, about rebuilding trust where it's earned, even after profound betrayal. About the strength that comes from facing hard truths together. Robert told me something last week that stayed with me. Family isn't who you're born to, he said. It's who you die to protect. Looking at Sarah and Mason, I understand exactly what he means. Our healing isn't complete. Some days are harder than others. But we're moving forward with our eyes open, protecting what matters most, our truth, our boundaries, and each other. Have you ever experienced betrayal from someone who was supposed to protect you? Would you have gone to the police in my situation or handled it privately as we did? Your experiences might help someone facing a similar impossible choice. The hardest lesson I've learned is that sometimes speaking truth is the greatest act of love. Family secrets thrive in darkness. If my story resonated with you, please share it. Your like or comment could reach someone suffering in silence, thinking they're alone or imagining things. Remember, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Setting boundaries isn't just self-care. It can be the difference between suffering and safety. Thank you for listening to my story. The family we choose is often more important than the family we're born into. Stay safe, protect your peace, and remember you deserve relationships built on trust, not fear.